Hey everyone, and welcome back to another explainer. If you're a Toronto local, or honestly, just a dedicated foodie who's constantly on the hunt for the absolute best, most reliable halal dining out there, you are in for a serious treat today. We're going to be breaking down the anatomy of a massive local hit, exploring exactly how one dedicated restaurant turned a simple, focused menu into an incredibly loyal following.
Okay, let's dive into this. We've all been there, right? You're craving fried chicken, you head to a local spot, and you get something that's just, well, average. You get that hit-or-miss quality, mediocre texture, rushed service. It's a hugely common foodie frustration. But what actually happens when a kitchen literally banishes freezers, refuses to take shortcuts, and makes everything entirely from scratch? As you'll see, the results are pretty astounding.
All right, Section 1, the Cluck Clucks origin. Let's look at where it all began. You know, every great restaurant has a story. And this one definitely didn't start in some corporate boardroom. It started with a simple, totally relatable desire for better food. The year was 2014. Founders Raza, Hashim, and Maryam Rizvi were just tired of being disappointed. They realized that the available halal fried chicken options in the area frequently fell way short of the mark. So instead of just accepting these average dining experiences, they decided to take matters into their own hands. Out of that personal dissatisfaction, a genuine local culinary movement was born.
They set up shop right in downtown Toronto at 222 the Esplanade. And I'm telling you, if you walk past this location, you are immediately hit with these incredible, inviting smells. As any foodie knows, that aroma is the very first signal that you're about to experience a meal made with real attention to detail. It's that welcoming, mouth-watering scent that pulls you right in off the street, way before you've even glanced at a menu.
Moving on to Section 2, freshness over fast food. This is really their core philosophy. And this brilliantly illustrates what makes them different. To really understand their success, we have to look at a philosophy that demands something we just aren't used to in the grab-and-go world: patience. The fast food norm gives you frozen ingredients, rushed service, and quality that varies wildly from day to day. But the Cluck Clucks standard completely flips that script. Orders only begin when you actually place them, and like we mentioned, there are 0 freezers on site. Does this method demand extra time? For sure, but it yields a consistently superior texture. We're talking incredibly crispy on the outside and perfectly tender on the inside.
Section 3, signature dishes and the flavors that define the experience.
All that patience and standard setting in the kitchen translates directly to noticeably better plates arriving at your table. Let's actually deconstruct their top-ranked signature dish, creatively named the Cluck Yeah. This isn't just a piece of chicken on a plate. You start with their beautifully crispy halal chicken, but then you layer it onto a unique jalapeno cheddar waffle. Add a rich kick of chipotle aioli and top the whole shebang off with fresh coleslaw. These diverse, inventive flavors just perfectly complement each other to create a completely elevated bite.
Now, for those of us craving some serious heat, they have a fantastic take on Nashville Hot Chicken. And what's really smart about their approach here is that while it stays totally true to the traditional Nashville style, the heat levels are easily adjustable to suit local palates. Add in the welcome, acidic contrast of a crisp pickle, and you've got a dish that is deeply satisfying without being overwhelmingly fiery. Well, unless you want it to be, of course.
Beyond those signature items, their menu is just packed with comforting staples and crowd pleasers. You might gravitate toward the absolute classic chicken and waffles, served with maple syrup, giving you that timeless sweet and savory combo. Or actually, maybe you're after their incredibly popular tenders, paired with a diverse range of dipping sauces alongside well-seasoned fries and a deep, rich gravy. And if you're bringing family or a group of friends, their large sharing boxes are an absolute game changer. The generous portions make it super practical for everyone to get a taste of everything on the table.
All right, Section 4, tips for your visit. Let's make sure you do it right.
Now that you're probably getting pretty hungry, we need to talk logistics, because fresh preparation literally cannot be rushed. Busy times definitely mean waits. So, here are your exclusive pro tips to ensure your dining experience is flawless. Step 1. Visit on weekday afternoons if you can. This is going to help you avoid those peak crowd waits. Step 2. Communicate your spice and seasoning preferences early. The staff are incredibly helpful, but they need to know what you want to get it exactly right. And finally, Step 3. Split larger orders. Those sharing boxes we just talked about are brilliant because they let you sample way more of the menu without over-ordering.
Section 5, expanding the local impact and taking a look at their path of growth.
Let's zoom out for a second. It's one thing to have a single, highly successful downtown location, right? But how do you maintain those high standards and that consistency while carefully expanding across other regions?
Now, what's really interesting about this slide is this specific anecdote. One person made it a monthly habit after just trying lunch once. That perfectly illustrates the deep customer loyalty Cluck Clucks has managed to build. And that kind of loyalty, it isn't driven by a flashy marketing gimmick, it's driven entirely by their reliability. People know exactly what level of quality they're going to get every single time they walk through those doors.
So what is their recipe for enduring appeal? It really comes down to 3 core ingredients. First, a heavy, unyielding focus on the basics. Second, genuine effort paired with helpful, attentive service. And third, dependability over fleeting food trends. You know, food fads spread like wildfire on social media every week, but solid execution, clean and welcoming environments, and freshly cooked meals, those will absolutely outlast any passing trend. This strict adherence to their own standards is exactly why their careful expansion is working out so beautifully.
And that brings us to our final thought for this explainer. I want to ask you, when was the last time you prioritized fresh, made-to-order quality over drive-through speed? It is so incredibly easy to settle for convenience in our busy, day-to-day lives. But the Cluck Clucks standard shows us exactly what we're missing when we do. I really challenge you to rethink your dining habits. Take a little extra time, head over to the Esplanade, and experience this reliable, carefully crafted quality for yourself. Thanks so much for joining me on this explainer, and keep exploring.